What's up, everybody? I really wanted to do like a quick video about what should we get in the next Spider-Man film for the MCU. But before I continue on, please do me a huge favor: leave a comment below, like this video, share this with your friends, and follow me in the links in the description below. Now, last time I did something like this was for Batman. What James Gunn should do with making like the ultimate Batman for the DCU. Check out that video, which some of my channel got crazy hits because people really enjoyed my take on that stuff. Where basically, the Arkham games is not including the whole Suicide Squad, that don't even count. But all the other Arkham games pretty much has like, peak Batman. But all his rogues, his history, his resources, the Bat family, the whole world, etc. is like all built. With Batman at the top of his game. Here, because they haven't made no type of script as of yet, or at least they're still going through it, they need to get Spider-Man to the point where it's like, okay, he's back to street level. Of course, they, from my understanding from reports, they're gonna be throwing in the Punisher, which we kind of, and Daredevil, which we kind of expected, as well as the Kingpin. Look, that's all well and good. Now that we've gotten past the whole No Way Home, and pretty much he's taking on the best parts of Toby and Andrew's version of Spider-Man into his own. I say that, and also the fact that, going forward, we need to get all his villains now. Because the whole Sony verse has crapped the bed so royally that they had to throw in a towel. They should have thrown it, after Madam Web. But they thinking like they're gonna like power through it, they're gonna fail upwards, but it just did not work because a lot of those villains need Spider-Man to bounce off of. So, in order to get a proper Kraven the Hunter, a proper Morbius, a proper Venom, etc., Spider-Man needs to be a major part of that. Otherwise, it just won't work. And I argue what Kevin Feige should do is take a lot of the elements from the PlayStation Spider-Man games, the PS4 up to the PS5 version, because that is pretty much peak Peter Parker, where he's been through the ringer. I mean, of course, this is not an experience. Well, kind of, sort of, because Tom Holland's Spider-Man has been through the ringer. He should be pretty well versed into the superhero world and know how to move accordingly, not as naive and green as he was in the first two films. Master, because like it took up until Far From Home for him to actually master his spider sense. He and the PlayStation game really did an impressive job with all of his rogues. We get to see quite a selection of them. Well, even down to like Tombstone, mind you. And what the games have done with these characters to make them stand out and unique to the world that they're in, you can easily adopt those blueprints for the film. It's done an amazing job. I mean, it's, he's smart, having invented his own tech, utilizing those gizmos that you see from the games to make it uniquely his own. Bright colored outfits, already, they already got that down packed after No Way Home. Street level, they need to really commit to that, because as much fun as I had with, well, they kind of had him street level only for a little bit in Homecoming, but he went abroad and Far From Home, and of course he dealt with the Avengers with cosmic level stuff with Infinity War and Endgame, and then deal with multiversal stuff with No Way Home. Now I love all those films. Don't get me wrong, especially No Way Home. As I mentioned before, that is like my all-time favorite. Not only superhero film, but all-time film in general. My favorite, down like down packed. My favorite. But Kevin Feige and Marvel Disney need to really commit to the fact that, okay, he's done all this other stuff. We need to bring him back to the street level adventures. It doesn't need to be world ending, but just dealing with somebody like the Green Goblin, who is trying to, cause chaos in New York City. Has some weird oddball relations with Peter, or dealing with a true Venom. I personally think you need to keep Tom Hardy. I think he was kind of fun, but actually get the real Venom with the actual Venom logo on his chest. Get like Kraven the Hunter, who shows up because he wants to hunt Spider-Man. Get like an actual Kraven the Hunter. Get, because the games have done them perfectly. They did an amazing job. And to get their looks, because a lot of them are gadget based and animal theme, and a few actually have some legit abilities. And it's just, that's what like I think they need to do, or at least Kevin Feige should seriously consider taking the blueprint from the PS4 Spider-Man game into the live action stuff. Don't need to be one for one, but man, that is just like, okay, this is an experienced Spider-Man. Just have him move around New York just so effortlessly, because he's been around here. He swung around these buildings so much. It's like he knows certain buildings like a back of his hand. He doesn't even have to look at a certain point. Like the opening, as you saw in the first PS4 Spider-Man game, where he just like casually kicks, a fire hydrant and, to douse some flames and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, like I know the deal. He's handling it so smooth. He works with the police because he has like a decent relationship with them. Matter of fact, bring in somebody like Detective Yuri, or better yet, like in the comics, bring back Jean DeWolf. I pitched this before that the next villain should be Hydro Man, the legit Hydro Man, and him getting into a relationship with MJ, because now that MJ and Ned, who clearly is going to be Hobgoblin, because the actor is losing a ton of weight. He's obviously clearly gearing up to be Hobgoblin. But you get like two villains, right off the bat. Hydro Man and Hobgoblin should be like the main villains in the next one. But slowly but surely getting into Venom, because they still got a piece of Venom roaming around. But they shouldn't deal with Venom right away. He should be looming in the background until, if by the end, or at least like a post credits, seeing that thing latch on to Peter to set up Spider-Man 5 with him just embracing like symbiote stuff. But the fourth one should be Hydro Man because if you watch the '90s TV show, Hydro Man, has an obsession with Mary Jane, and becomes like a bit of a stalker. If you can adopt the same origin story like you saw in the '90s TV show, and now that MJ and Ned don't know Peter will have this obsession essentially to protect these two that don't know him from a can of paint, and he gonna probably be coming off weird. Matter of fact, actually, have MJ starting a relationship with this guy, but Peter doesn't trust him, but she doesn't know him, and he acting weird, so it kind of causes added drama to this situation, and now he has to protect MJ, who doesn't know him anymore, from a guy who is, I don't want to lean into abusive, but just or controlling, but something akin to that, where Peter has to step in, but he looks weird on his front. But then also dealing with somebody like Hobgoblin, and actually be similar to what we saw like from Hobgoblin in the '90s show, and start introducing other, rogues with certain cameos. Like, in the game, Tombstone runs like a motorcycle shop, and he kind of has like a biker gang. You could do something similar to that. Make it lived in. You already got like, Kingpin, and you're trying to bring him in and reintroduce Punisher. Since Punisher is being introduced, they actually probably have to do the thing in the comics where Punisher was first introduced in the Spider-Man comic, where he's trying to take him out because Punisher was hired by the Kingpin. So I guess that's where they're leaning towards with like the main story, at least, ballpark pretty much. Well, it's like, okay, Kingpin has dealt with Daredevil in the past. Okay, I need to find Daredevil. Who Daredevil, where Daredevil usually stationed? Oh, Hell's Kitchen. Bumps into him. All the while looking for him, Punisher is on his tail. But I was about to mention something and just slipped my mind. And after the first 3 films, or pretty much this particular arc with Peter, this version of Peter, no more seeking some daddy's substitutes. They did it. They did that with Tony. They did that with Doctor Strange. Kind of, sort of, with the other Spider-Man. But he's always seemed like he's trying to search for a father figure. Which I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to do the exact same thing with Daredevil now, to be, because he's been at the whole superhero thing longer than Peter. He's gonna seek to him some kind of guidance and stuff, which is all well and good. But after meeting his other variants, I think Peter at this point should be comfortable of coming into his own without having to seek like some type of basically the training wheels should be off. No pun intended with the whole suit with taking away the training wheels program. But yeah, the training wheels should be off. He should be okay. I don't need no more father figures. Like, I learned what I can from these various other people that I trust. I'm going to take what I learned from them to heart and apply it in my own way. That's the mindset they should go forward. I don't want another repeat of what you did with Tony and Stephen Strange, where it's like, pretty much like a little lost pup trying to seek out, uh, what to do from his elder, which is fine to get advice, but uh, but it seems like he's just a kid just tagging along, and it's like, you're not a kid anymore, Peter. You gotta be able to apply what you learn, and sure, they can be there to assist you if you need the help, but you can't count on them to do everything. And I really don't want the writers to have to repeat that. So bringing it back to the main topic, I think Kevin Feige should uh, very much consider adopting some stuff from the PS4 Spider-Man game into the live action stuff for the MCU. Because the game is, seemed very lived in, because you got all these little iconic landmarks, like the bar that Foggy and Matt hang out at, or the bar with no doors, or the Avengers Tower, the Fantastic Four building. I think there's a Fantastic Four building there, but Four Freedoms Plaza, at least I think. I'm not 100% sure, but the game seemed very lived in. There's, clearly Avengers exist, so you can do this, like the Black Panther embassy. So clearly, like, yeah, this is a very lived in world. So now you can just adopt that. So I mean, that's what I think, because I think the PS4 Spider-Man is the ultimate Peter Parker that I've seen. That's, even better than the 90s version or the spectacular Spider-Man version. The game has, show what a mature, genius, experienced Peter Parker is epic. It's darn near perfect. And that's what I want to see more often. And not trying to roll him back like he's a kid again, or he's struggling and stuff like that. That's like, okay, we need to be done with that. Well, I say that, but the way we left off, he's like in his apartment and trying to study, to get like his degree and everything like that for night school and blah, blah, blah. So I guess we can still allude, or at least still do something like that. Matter of fact, I think we need to allude to the whole studying thing and him passing for whatever degree he wants and stuff like that, and then work as like an intern with maybe his version of Doc Ock, like in the game, or some other scientist, Kirk Connors, his version of Kirk Connors, wherever the case may be. But he knows how to slip in and out, better at making excuses so people don't get wise. It's like, yeah, the game did an impressive job with the character, and we can just build on the world and lore of Peter Parker. Introduce Betty Brant, have Peter start dating a little bit, start bringing in Black Cat, build up this world just like the game is pretty much has like a firm establishment. Like they kind of, like they don't rehash the whole Uncle Ben thing. They haven't been doing that for a while, but it's like, okay, the game did it beautifully. They expect you to already know or be well versed with the gist of Spider-Man, and just we're throwing you into this world. We're not going to rehash the Uncle Ben thing. None of that. Most of these rogues are already established, except for a few things here and there. So they can just build off of that. Do the exact same thing. I was like, okay. Right now, he got his little degrees and stuff like that, and he's interning at, whatever science thing he is into. But he's still trying to struggle to make payments and, try to keep a job while trying to maintain being Spider-Man, blah, 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 blah. We can keep that because pretty much that's what's been set up to carry over into the film. But yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Yeah, you think I'm right on the mark here? Because yeah, the PlayStation Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man ever. I defy you to say otherwise. Because I don't know, maybe the Peter Parker and the Miles Morales movie is probably a good close second. But then again, there's many variants. So, um, but yeah, I think the PS4 Spider-Man is probably like the best version. Hell, even in the comics right now, or at least in the past couple of years, the Spider-Man comics, at least Peter Parker so far, has not been good, man. It's been terrible. That's why I've been like, when I do comic book reviews up for the channel, and every time I try to go back into some Spider-Man stuff, it's usually be the older stuff. Cause like none of this newer stuff in the past few years have been okay at all. At least in my personal opinion. Uh, so yeah, the game has probably done is the better job in showcasing this hero and his world than any other medium that we saw. I mean, outside maybe certain aspects of the films. But anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. Speaking of Marvel, I'll be getting back to Marvel Rivals, so stay tuned for that. In any case, take care. Have a pleasant weekend, everybody. Peace.